The craziness of the NBA offseason has already began, and we've already seen a team lose the face of their franchise. But I'm here today to tell you that what they got in return may be exactly what they were looking for in the first place. Meet Lauri Markkanen, a 7-foot, 20-year-old power forward from Finland who played for the University of Arizona. He was able to lead them to a 32-5 record, including a berth in the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. Along the way, he averaged 15.6 points per game, along with 7.2 rebounds per game, and shot 42% from 3, which is the highest by a player over 7 foot tall in over 20 years. So it's safe to say he's one of, if not the best shooter that was available in the draft. So what exactly makes him such an elite player, and why do I believe that the Bulls made the correct decision in taking him 7th overall in this year's draft? The first thing you have to look at when talking about Markkanen is simply his ability to just shoot the basketball. He is a super quick release, which has been compared to guys like Klay Thompson, and his height makes it hard for any defenders to contest his jump shot. He has elite footwork, especially out of the pick and pop, which will be a major key to his NBA success because, as everybody knows, ball screens are a huge part of the systems that teams run. I believe this is going to be something that's going to allow him to get a lot of open looks at the next level, because when you think about it, there aren't a whole lot of 7-foot tall guys who are going to be able to set a screen, pop out, and quickly get a shot off in any circumstance, not just being wide open, but he'll even be able to get a shot off if there's a defender closing out on him because he's so tall and he has good range on his jumper and he's got a quick release. So he's going to be able to get that shot off almost whenever he wants. And that's a lethal combination with when you have a guy that can shoot as well as he can shoot. Another thing that's going to help him as he begins his NBA career is his new coach, Fred Hoiberg with the Chicago Bulls, likes to run a really fast-paced shooting offense that's going to fit Markkanen perfectly. He's going to be able to trail, play around the perimeter. He's going to get a lot of shots off because the Bulls are hoping that he can be the shooter that Nikola Mirotic and Doug McDermott did not really end up fitting the mold of. The thing with Markkanen is I believe he can be so much more than just that spot-up shooter. And that's what I'm going to get into next, because this is one of my favorite aspects of Lauri's game. He's able to use his athleticism to attack defenders off the dribble. And that's not something a 7-footer should be able to do. And he can do this so easily because his shooting ability draws the defenders out to him quickly. They have to run at him to try to get a hand in his face because he's so tall. And he has such a quick release, so they have to close out fast. Well, if they're close enough, he can simply go by them because their momentum is bringing them towards him. So obviously he can go past them, which is when he uses his length to be able to reach the basket, where he shot 56% around the hoop in half-court settings. But that's not even really what makes him the deadliest. What makes him the deadliest is his ability to, if you cut him off, he can simply rise up over you and hit a pull-up jumper where he made 46% of his shots off the dribble last year. So my question is, how do you guard that? If you have to close out quickly because he can get his shot off so fast off the catch and off the pick and pop, then when you close out, he plays power forward, so he's going to have big guys guarding him. If they have to close out quickly, he's going to be able to go past them because he has the athleticism and the ball handling to get past and even get all the way to the rim, where he's able to really finish with either hand. As you'll see in some of these clips I'm going to show, you'll see oftentimes he'll be able to hit a left-handed running hook, or he'll bring it around and scoop it up with his right. That's stuff you really don't see 7-footers do. So if he can continue to develop that aspect of his game, the off the dribble aspect, there will really be a limitless amount of possibilities for ways this man can score the basketball. And that's something alone that I feel is something for not only Chicago Bulls fans to be excited about, but NBA fans in general. You see guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kristaps, Porzingis, who we're going to talk about a little bit later, guys like that who are big men, who are able to do things that we're not used to seeing big men do. Well, I feel like Lauri Markkanen is the next chapter in that, and maybe even a better shooter than anyone we've seen at that height this early in their career. Now, on the flip side of that, one of the negatives I've heard a lot is the fact that a lot of people have this idea that he isn't a good defender. So when you go back and watch footage, you really get kind of mixed results. He actually does a decent job of staying in front of smaller players, thanks to good footwork and length, which he has. that most 7-footers don't. He can really stay in front of a smaller guy. He can move his feet, cut someone off. And then if he does get beat, a lot of times he can use his length to recover. But he's not a great shot blocker. He only averaged like 0.5 blocks per game last year. And that's something that I feel like could improve with some solid coaching and just experience from playing the game, knowing situations, what guys like to shoot, different things like that. So I think he could develop into a great shot blocker, but as of right now, he doesn't really have that aspect to his game, and that's something that I think a lot of people feel like a 7-footer should have. And along with that, some other things that I feel like are aspects of his game that do hold him back a little bit from the potential that he could reach someday is, one, he's got decent but not great athleticism. He can rise up if he gets enough momentum going, but he's not just going to be able to just pop up out of nowhere and dunk on someone or anything like that. He really has to get a head start. Now, he can get up, and you'll see he can get up and get some alley-oops every now and then, and he'll be able to dunk on a person. And a lot of that can be attributed to his height more than his athleticism. But regardless, that's definitely something that could take his game to another level. Another thing I feel like he can improve on is his ball handling. While it's already ahead of most people his size, and it's already at a level that I feel is deadly for someone his size, if he can improve it and work on it consistently, he can really reach that full unicorn potential that I'm talking about, that I can see him at someday. And a guy that big that already handles it the way he does, if he can improve that, it will be something that will be so hard to guard as a defender, and it'll just take his game to a whole nother level than what it's at even right now. But at 230 pounds, he still has room to get stronger, but he has plenty of time to put weight on, to grow. I really don't think that's a huge concern, because if you look at him, the guy's already bigger than most people you see that are his size and length-wise. A lot of times they're real scrawny, but he has a lot of muscle on him already, and you can tell he already works hard at that. And that's something I've heard from listening to countless interviews and researching, is that this guy has a huge work ethic. He's willing to do whatever it takes to succeed at the next level. He idolizes great players and the things they've done to reach the levels that they have. And you can see, if you look up pictures of him before he got to college to now, the guy was so small and just scrawny, stick arms, and now he actually has a good build, and it's only going to get better. So that's just attributed to the guy's great work ethic. But if you look at Lauri Markkanen, it's so hard not to compare him to Dirk and Kristaps Porzingis, because you see the shooting ability, you see the ability to dribble, you see the ability to stay in front of a smaller defender. He does things that someone his size should not do. And that's the mold that Dirk created and that Kristaps is now perfecting. Now, there are aspects that Markkanen does not have that a guy like Porzingis does, which is, one, the crazy athleticism. You won't be seeing a ton of the high-flying putbacks, a ton of the crazy blocks. Not saying that he won't get some of those every now and then, but they won't be a consistent part of his game. So it's hard to give him that full unicorn label that Kristaps has, that full basketball anomaly label. But he does have a lot of the key aspects. And honestly, I feel like he does lean more towards Dirk because of just the pure shooting stroke. And he might already be a better shooter than Kristaps. So I think you really have to just take bits and pieces from each one, and that's not a bad thing at all. Both of them are, one is already a Hall of Famer, the other one, Kristaps, is well on his way to making a good name for himself in the league. So there's definitely no shame in taking bits and pieces from each one, or even getting anywhere close to either one, because if he's anywhere close to either one of them, then he will have had a great career. So as a fan of the game of basketball, I'm extremely excited for everything this guy brings to the table. He seems to have the work ethic to improve consistently at his game. He has all the tools to be a great offensive talent in the NBA, and I wish him nothing but the best. I really feel, even though this has been one of the best drafts in a long time in the NBA, one of the deepest, everybody keeps saying that, and I know there will be so many great candidates for this award, but I really feel that Markkanen has a great opportunity to actually win the Rookie of the Year award over Lonzo Ball, over Markelle Fultz, over De'Aaron Fox, over Jason Tatum, over Ben Simmons, over all of them. Simply because of this. the Bulls are rebuilding. He will have all the opportunities he needs to prove himself. If he's a real player and if he's really got the skills and the things that I believe he does, I have no doubt that he will have a great season. And while he may end up like Kristaps Porzingis did his rookie year, kind of getting edged out by Karl Anthony Towns, I do believe he will have a great season. I believe he'll be up in the front of the running for Rookie of the Year. A big reason why I wanted to make this video is because I've seen so much hate for this guy simply over the fact that the Bulls gave up Jimmy Butler to essentially get him, and obviously Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn, who I feel like will also have potential to pan out. But I feel like people did not give this guy the credit he deserves for the type of player he is. I've seen him compared to Ryan Anderson, to Channing Frye. That's ridiculous. This guy has the potential to be a game changer in this league. And I'm not saying he's going to end up the next Dirk or the next Kristaps, but he has all the tools to. It will be up to him and his development for how that all pans out. I wish him nothing but the best. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for all you do, for all the support you give me. We're continuing to grow every day. It's an exciting time for this channel. Feel free to connect with me on social media. I love to get with you guys, talk basketball, talk anything you want. It's always good to connect and build those relationships with subscribers. But I won't take any more time out of your day. Again, thank you for watching. God bless.